pretty good in here, I have to say. Maybe a little smaller than the former Coast2Coast Pinball Studios. I have to draw the curtains to record because the sun stays up incredibly late here in the Netherlands this time of year. But this will do. I've got the setup going. We've got notes taken. My mind is right. And let's get back in the saddle, if you will. Because we're going to jump right into episode 233 of Coast2Coast Pinball. Let's go. Welcome to Coast2Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is a podcast, this is a commentary, and I'm a man out of quarters. I know, it's euros, blah, blah, blah. You live in Europe, there's no quarters. I get it. We got it. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. Coming to you not live from beautiful, gloomy Amsterdam on Sunday, July 2nd, 2017. I cannot believe half of 2017 is here and gone. That is amazing to me. So when we last spoke, friendly listeners, I was in a different place. I was in a temporary apartment where I was getting my bearings straight on my new job here in Amsterdam with Taylor Guitars. And I told you I would be trying to get back going with the show, and it proved difficult because that apartment, as nice as it was not a good place to record this show. It didn't have the proper environment. It didn't have the mojo. The feng shui was just off in there, and I couldn't get on it. So I was very busy. Lots going on. This has been an intense year of my life, and it was sometimes hard to focus. And pinball became much more of just relaxation for me, and less of a avenue to a creative process like this podcast tends to be. So very little was done towards getting the show back on the road. My lovely partner in crime life, my wife Teresa, and I have moved to a new apartment in a neighboring neighborhood from where we were here in Amsterdam, in the Rivierenbuurt neighborhood, if you're wondering. And it has a second bedroom, which I got to tell you, folks, is the perfect place to get this show back on the road. So we will do that now. I won't bore you with too many details of, they don't use much ice in Europe because apparently there's a shortage of it or something, or, I can't find regular barbecue sauce in Europe because, I don't know, Europe. I won't bore you with all those things right off the bat. I'm sure they'll come as we get going here. Glad to be back. I miss this show so much. I cannot even tell you I miss this show a lot. I keep up as best I can with the ongoing happenings in the world of pinball, a hobby, a industry that I love to be a part of, and I love to watch from both the outside and sometimes the inside. It's been difficult. I actually had stopped even listening to all my favorite pinball podcasts because it sort of was driving me nuts that I wasn't doing more and playing more pinball, and it finally met. I think it's the pinnacle. That doesn't make any sense. It got to a point where I had to get this going, and I looked at Teresa a few days ago and I said, I've got to get this show up and running. So as we unpacked all of our stuff, and I've got my computer screens and monitors and microphones and doodads and the magic box where all the stuff actually comes from, there is no magic box. I'm really excited to get going, and I look forward to talking into this microphone a bunch. So without further ado, let's just get on with the show, shall we?
5 Fast Thoughts.
All right, 5 Fast Thoughts. This is where I choose a few things that are happening that I want to quickly mention, give shout-outs to, etc., 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 to start off the show. So my 5 Fast Thoughts for July 2nd start with, what do we have? What do we, and we is the collective me, you, and all of those involved in this fun game that is pinball. Hopefully we're all getting along with each other out there, right? What do we have right now? Let me tell you what we have. We have a very strong Stern pinball with games shipping, more games coming, hopefully code coming down the way. We have a new Star Wars game that is starting to leave the factory. We have an Aerosmith game, which I really, really like. I'll talk more about that later, I suppose. We have Batman 66 games out there with people waiting on code updates. We have tons of Game of Thrones and all sorts of different Ghostbusters games out there that people are enjoying. And here in 2017, they still reign the world of pinball production. They are the big man on campus. They are the machine, and they're doing good work. We'll dive into Star Wars a little bit later, but it's kind of the same old thing, right? The last, 10, 15 years, Stern is sort of the steady. They are the rock. They are where you go to find a game now, right? So we have that. What else do we have? We have Jersey Jack Pinball shipping their third game. We have Dialed In. We see them being unboxed now. Dialed In looks really fantastic. I think it's a great looking game. I hate to even admit it, folks. I've not played it. I can't comment a whole lot on a game I haven't played. I will say this. Those that have played it and I'm close with really like it. They really like the way it shoots. I think it looks great. I think the package that they are sending out is exciting. I look forward to playing it. I think a lot of people have decided that their view on the quality of a Jersey Jack pinball game is at a high level. I think that's a feather in the cap for Jersey Jack. We'll see if they have any situations with chipping playfields this time around. I really hope not. We saw that as an issue, and I'm seeing some initial reports of that popping up here and there. Hopefully those are outliers, because I would love to see Jack and Pat Lawler have a hit. I want to see Dialed In overcome what I think was an odd theme. I think everybody sort of thought that was an odd theme. Some people embraced it and ran with the quirkiness of it. Hopefully the game does really well for them so we can get more games out. I would say on Dialed In, a brief thing, you cannot underestimate how important it is that Jersey Jack Pinball has done a narrow body game and not another wide body game. I think that's really, really important there. What do we have? We have Spooky Pinball shipping the final Rob Zombie games. They have the run, I believe, is done, and people have their games. It seems that there was some speculation on this game happening out there. If you look at listings for secondhand games, seems that there were people who bought these games thinking there was going to be a giant rush on these and they'd be able to flip these games, make a lot of money. I'm not sure that that's panned out quite right. It's competitive out there right now. There's a lot of places to put your money, a lot of places to lose your money. What else do we have? We have Chicago Gaming shipping Attack from Mars Remake, which might be the most interesting project in pinball today, because it's an old theme that everybody liked and everybody wanted, but it's redone in a different way that I think is okay. I don't think it's a bad thing that they made updates, that they made changes. I think it's a compelling update, if anything. A lot of Attack from Mars out there in the world are really worn out, because it's a great game that people love and the replay factor is high, and it checks all those boxes of quirkiness and fun and silly, but also intense and challenging and things to shoot for, and pretty simple to figure out what you're trying to do. You're trying to shoot the spaceship, but there's strategies there and different ways to play that game. So a lot of those games are really worn out. So the fact that there's now going to be possibly thousands more Attack from Mars in the world, I think is a good thing. And I know a certain woman in this apartment right now would sure like to see one of those show up. So there's more out there. Spooky's working on Jetson. Spooky's working on Alice Cooper. There's more stuff coming. But I wanted to say, first fast thought, that's what we have today. Fast thought number 2. What do we not have at this point? So it's been a little while since I've talked about this, so I'd like to just recap. The Big Lebowski. A few shipped. We don't have answers. We have a major problem between Dutch Pinball and their contract manufacturer, and we don't have games shipping. That's bad. That is bad news. That is bad for pinball. What do we don't have? We don't have Alien shipping like we thought we would at this point. In fact, we don't have Andrew Highway at Highway Pinball. I mean, that's a major shift, a major change. I think it's too early to say for sure what that means. But certainly if you have money in on a game by Highway Pinball, you can't feel incredibly safe. And it's the old adage somebody said once, building pinball is hard. And they're finding that out over at Highway Pinball. So we will see as that plays out over the next few months. what do we don't have? I think right now, if you're actively buying and trading in new in-box pinball machines, which I know is only a small percentage of the pinball hobby, but it's an important one. I think, new games have to be sold. I love when people say, I will only ever buy used games. Everyone should only buy used games. You're stupid if you buy these games new in box. They lose their value. Well, hold on a second. If nobody buys new games, then we don't get new games. That's not good. Then we'd only have a limited amount of games being bought by operators and commercial buyers, and that'd be the only source for games. And that's not the market I think most of us want to live in. So we're going to buy new games, but I think what we don't have in pinball right now is an overwhelming amount of trust for most companies. I think right now we have a few companies who are earning everyone's trust and respect. So that's kind of what we don't have. Fast thought number 3. Not having a pinball machine in my place of residence for the past 7, 8, 9 months now is driving me crazy. Yes, there's pinball on location in the Netherlands. Yes, I go out and seek it out and find it when I have time. But there's nothing like coming home, walking in the door from a long day at the office or a trip on the road, and firing up whatever game you might own in your home and being able to just play and play and play in your own little world. There's a life under glass, and you want to be a part of that. You want to go dive into it, and I miss that. And this new apartment has opportunity, I think. But, when you live in apartment buildings, you have to consider your neighbors, and I'm not sure yet. So I'm working that out. I'm really hopeful that I'm going to be able to get a couple of games here in this great apartment that we've found ourselves at home in Amsterdam. So I really am missing pinball at home. I said it a long time ago, and I still believe that when people started bringing pinball machines home on a mass scale, it was really like we took the roller coaster out of the amusement park and put it in the backyard. And it's something every kid sort of dreams of, and me too. So I've been sort of supplementing that escape and that fun and that kind of gaming feel with actual video games. I'm playing a lot of video games in my late evenings. I'm playing games like Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch and Overwatch on the PS4 and some other things, just to have something fun and not serious and not, sales and numbers and marketing and all that. It's the escape. So, yeah, fast thought number 3 is me just saying, I wish I had a pinball machine at home. Fast thought number 4. Pinburg is this month. If you've listened to this show, if you've been a fan or a listener or a friend of Coast to Coast Pinball throughout the years, you can know one thing about me. I love Pinburg. I was so upset when my schedule started shifting towards a not going to be able to go to Pinburg moment a few months ago. I had already bought in, I had my spot, and then luckily things aligned up right that I have a budget planning trip for Taylor Guitars in July that leads me to Pittsburgh afterwards, and I'm very happy about that. Pinburg is my favorite pinball event. I love some of the festivals, I love some of the shows, but there is nothing to me like guaranteed 2 days of competitive pinball in the format that is Pinburg, and the match play scenarios are just so much fun. The variety of games and competitors and the vibe in the show, what the Replay Foundation has put together the last few years at the Pittsburgh Convention Center is just really the best. It's absolutely the best. I think we're seeing it now with Papa sort of having, they moved Papa and we're not getting confirmation of when the next Papa is. And, Pinburg and Replay FX in the summertime, that's going to be a lot of people's trip to Pittsburgh. And it certainly has to be mine this year. I couldn't go to Papa this year, but I'm going to be at Pinburg. I can't wait. It's so much fun. The strategy talk in between rounds, the steak sandwiches. The steak sandwiches, folks. Absolutely amazing. I actually booked my hotel closer to the steak sandwiches this year because that's how important that is to me. I'm going to just go on the record right now and let everyone know right now, I'm going to win Pinburg. I've put my flag in the ground. I'm going to win Pinburg, right? Right? You with me? I'm going to win Pinburg. And if I don't win Pinburg, it's only because Josh Sharp wins Pinburg and wins his first major. So don't hold me to that. Fast thought number 5. Congratulations. We have 2 new, quote, world champions in pinball this year, and I wanted a quick shout out to both of them. First off, friend of the show, person that I have actually beaten at Star Trek Pinball once in my lifetime, Escher Lefkoff. Escher Lefkoff goes into Papa 20, becomes the youngest world champion ever. It's an amazing story. He's a really nice kid who, man, I watched the streams. It was so cool. I was so bummed I couldn't be there to watch Escher climb that mountain and get his name on a banner for Papa 20 is just really fantastic. So congratulations to Escher. And also Raymond Davidson out of the Seattle area winning the IFPA World Championships, IFPA 14, I believe, that took place not too far from here, about a short 8-hour drive up to Denmark. I would have loved to have been there, but could not make it. But congratulations to Raymond Davidson. That is an absolute murderer's row of players he had to work through to take home that trophy. So really good to see the younger guard sealing the deal and winning those big tournaments because, look, man, I'm a huge Keith Owen fan. I'm a huge Bone Cairns fan, huge Zach Sharp fan. I'm a huge fan of some of the stalwarts, the top-ranked guys who we know and have won and have proved it. Those guys are great, and I root for those guys. But I think there's something really fantastic for pinball as a sport and pinball as a competitive game to have some young people break through and win. So that's good stuff. Congratulations to those guys. There are your 5 fast thoughts for July 2nd.
Forum static.
All right, so if you spend some time on the internet and you're into pinball, you probably visit Pinside sometimes. Pinside's a great place if you need information. And I go there to see what people are thinking about. And right now, one of the top posts on Pinside with the most activity and the most posts in it, which is kind of where I grab my forum static from, has to do with Dialed In. Jersey Jack Pinball, Dialed In shipping. I got to tell you, I mentioned in the beginning, I haven't played Dialed In, which is sort of embarrassing. But I got to tell you, I went back and rewatched the Jersey Jack Pinball promo video, which some have dubbed the greatest pinball promo video of all time. And they really took a step from the initial announcement of Dialed In, where I was puzzled and really confused as to what this theme was all about. They really did push forward and kind of try and create that world for us about the attack on Quantum City and how you're going to witness it. And I really do like the look and the feel and the art package that Dialed In brings. And the shots look great. One thing that I noticed at the end of that package, which I don't know why I'm going to bring this up out of all things, it drove me kind of crazy, was their tagline at the end was Jersey Jack is destroying the competition. Okay, A, you're actually not. And B, stop it. Who cares? That's not the point. The point is people are going to want this game if it's fun and adds value and looks great, which it does, and you can get them. I think one of the biggest things in pinball right now is if you can actually decide you want a game and buy the game and get the game, that's a big advantage. So beyond the idea of them destroying the competition, I will say this. They do raise the bar. Jersey Jack Pinball raises the bar. They raised the price point bar years ago with Wizard of Oz. I think they raised the screen bar using a HD screen in the back box and now multiple screens in the games. I think that has raised the bar. That has put pressure elsewhere to do that. And it looks like they have a game that seems really fun. And that's kind of number one on most people's lists. Are there people who still have written me and still said, I don't know what they're doing with this theme? Yes. Is yours truly a little bit like, on the theme? Yes. Am I open-minded enough to think that this could be a big hit for them? I think so. I think so. So I guess I just wanted to touch on the fact that when you look on Pinside and look on the internet, people are unboxing these games, and it's great to see, because I do think it's important that we have competition in pinball. I don't like the competition aspect of it is, the dirtiness that can happen when companies sort of really face off and start banging on each other and take jabs at each other and destroying the competition. Whatever. I just like that the evolution of the game keeps pushing out. Now, is there anything on that game that to me is really like, oh my gosh, look at what they did, this changes pinball forever? No, but I don't know that we want to change pinball forever. I think that logical steps in technology are welcome in pinball. But if you start really getting too far outside the box, it's not pinball anymore. And it's not the thing that we all want. And there has to be that certain thing that's familiar about it with, flippers and flipper buttons and a playfield at a certain angle and a ball and gravity, and you know what I'm saying. So I do want to give all the props in the world to Jersey Jack Pinball, because for years now we've seen Jersey Jack Pinball's in trouble, they're dying. Oh, they got new money, they have investors. Oh, they're dying. Things are bad. We have chipped playfields. Oh, their quality control isn't what it looks like. I don't know, man. I'm pretty bullish and pretty positive on Dialed In, and from what I hear about the next game, I think the sky is bright right now for Jersey Jack, and that's a good thing. Next on Forum Static, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't dive into Star Wars. I've had quite a few emails about people asking me my thoughts on Star Wars. It's that kind of theme that elicits the immediate reaction from people. You have immediate orders placed because it says Star Wars. People have not seen the game, not played the game, not seen anybody playing the game in a video throwing their money towards Chicago to get a Star Wars game. It is that kind of AAA theme that instantly makes you money, and I thought we should kind of do the brief overview. I know it's been talked about to death on the net. I'm sure other podcasts that I hope you guys are patronizing and listening to have dove into it, but I do want to go through some things. My first overall impression, whenever I see the new release of a game and you start seeing stuff come across on Twitter or on Facebook, on the internet, you can't help but look at the visuals. You look at the art, you look at the layout. And coming off of Aerosmith, which to me is one of the best looking pinball machines ever made, period. I think that art package is so fantastic, so beautiful. To me, Aerosmith is like the 1970s vibe. It's like a tapestry of your favorite band with lava lights in the dark bedroom coming to life as pinball. I think it's so cool. It's awesome. The game's really good too. I actually really like Aerosmith. Sleeper hit for Stern. So when you see Star Wars come across, you can instantly see that the downside of the AAA license, the part that drags you back a little bit and can be the hindrance, if there is one, is you get a little handcuffed, I think, when you're trying to design something that has artistic renderings, visual renderings of intellectual licenses like Star Wars, because you can't really move outside the box. You can't really draw your own versions of those, but you can't do what's been done on Aerosmith or Metallica. You can't do that. You're dealing with Disney and Star Wars, one of the most sought-after licenses in every field in marketing. It's huge. It's massive. And we're seeing movies every year now. So my first initial take when I saw the playfield for Star Wars was, oh man, that's too bad. Because it just didn't really inspire me. There's handcuffs clearly put on the art design team dealing with a license like this. However, I will say this. The more I've looked at it, to me, this is not Game of Thrones. I had major issues with Game of Thrones. I still do. I think Game of Thrones could have been just such a better package with a different take on the art. Star Wars, to me, and knowing that I think Steve Ritchie is a designer, if you look at the history, Game of Thrones and Star Trek and other games, I think sometimes he likes sort of a less intrusive art package. He kind of wants the game to do the presentation, doesn't want it as busy. So I think Stern's probably juggling this. Okay, we kind of took heat for Star Trek back then, not having a whole lot on it. People didn't like the giant Angus Young face on the old AC/DC Pros. Game of Thrones got kind of shredded for the art package being uninspired and too, Photoshoppy looking with big lines and just, they've got that, I'm sure, on their mind. Then they've got hey, we get all this praise for Aerosmith and Metallica, and even Kiss was a whole different thing, Kevin O'Connor. But I think they tried their hardest, and I think what you ended up with on Star Wars is not that bad. It's not amazing, certainly. I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, top 10 pinball art package. No, but the playfield's not that bad. I think that it's a game that is clearly built for speed. Everything you read about this game feature-wise is about speed. You've got a game where they're talking about hyperdrive accelerator, and the super speed loops. This is Steve Ritchie being Steve Ritchie. He wants games with, a fan layout, lots of shots, fast, get the ball going. We're seeing, gadgets out of the Getaway thrown in here because it's racing, it's fast, it's ships, there's TIE fighters, there's the Millennium Falcon, it's the space race war scenario going on here. So it's a game about speed, and when you look at the art package, you have, your characters down in the bottom for your modes. Above them, a ship, Millennium Falcon. Above them, characters with lightsabers, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, with their, the lightsabers going up the lanes where the shots are in the orbits. And you've got, lots of inserts that are triangular in shape, pointing up, pointing out, speed, everything away. The Millennium Falcon has the warp speed shots coming off of it. It's not that bad. I like it. I'm okay with it. I like the colors. I like the temperature of the colors, mostly a blue base. I think it looks good. It captures a lot of what they're going for because, look, they're really giving you, and I don't know what's going to be on the HD displays. I don't know what stories they're going to try and intermix into this game out of episodes 4, 5, and 6. But from an art package standpoint, they're trying to give you a lot of it. They're trying to give you as much of it as they can. There's different characters above the pop bumpers on the Pro to the Premium and LE versions. So they really are trying to spread it out. So I have warmed up on the art package a little bit. I won't be super negative on it because I know what they're dealing with. I know that there are always going to be constraints when you're dealing with a company of that size like Disney and with a IP as revered as Star Wars. So I'm actually okay. I think that's not bad. As far as the art package on the games go, there's something amazing about the Pro to me and the fighter ships on the sides. I really like that because it really evokes 1980s to me. The red and the black, I don't know, that to me is just so classic Star Wars and really gives me an 80s retro feel. I do like the back glasses because they did go with sort of a hand-drawn take on stock photos that they're supposed to use, I'm sure. Look, I'm not an expert on art design. I don't know. But it looks pretty good. I like the way that came out. I probably, when I just scroll through them, I probably like the back glass of the Pro the best. It's busier. Maybe the Premium, I like the bad guys. I kind of like the dark side stuff. And I probably like the cabinet of the right side of the limited edition the best. That makes sense. Chase scene with the Millennium Falcon. I don't know. So I think I've read a few people on Pinside who wishes they could like hodgepodge together their great version of all the panels of the sides of the cabinets and the back glass and the sides of the box. So it's interesting, and it'll force people to make decisions. 800 limited editions. We start getting into that. It's not all that limited territory when I think you get anything over 500. But again, Stern's in business to sell games, and if there's going to be a demand, I think that Stern, and rightfully so, would want to make that money up front rather than let the secondary market sort of gobble up that extra profit. I listened to an interview with a band I really like who was being accused of raising their ticket prices much higher than they used to be. And they said the same thing. They said, look, at some point we hope our fans understand if we set the ticket prices low, scalpers are going to buy them and sell them to you at this higher price. We would rather set them higher where the market price actually is so that scalpers just won't see the profit margin there, so they won't be out there scooping up the tickets. And we, as a band and as a group, can make that money and put on a better show and have more people on the road and work on the next record. And I thought that was actually pretty insightful. I don't know if the consumer can slow themselves down and think like that sometimes. I think sometimes the consumer just gets into this, oh man, it's more money, it's too expensive, blah, 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 blah. And I think with the 800 limited editions that Stern's doing here, I could see how a collector might say, well, man, that's not really that limited. Why am I spending so much money here? But on on a game like Star Wars, where the perceived demand is really, really high, I think it only makes sense to up that number and try and cut off some of that secondary market, some of that flipping and speculation. It makes perfect sense to me. I don't know if everybody sees it like that or not. So as far as the art package goes, it's going to look good in arcades. It's going to look good in collections. I think the game, from the initial shots we've seen, which is very limited, I think it's going to certainly be colorful, certainly have a nice look. I will say this. I was scrolling between pictures of different games. Aerosmith, Star Wars, Dialed In, and then maybe on the extreme end, like the Jetsons game that Spooky is building for the pinball company. There's something visual about how much you can get on a playfield and cram in, and I think your eyes get used to a game like Metallica or Aerosmith where there's just a lot going on, and then when you see Star Wars, it's like, okay, it's a little more space, a little less spread out. If you go back and look at games from the era of the Sega games, like X-Files or back in Data East games, there was often lots of space and big inserts and things like that, and it sort of has taken on a cheaper feel to it. So I think Star Wars kind of is in the middle somewhere. There's some space, but certainly they've packed in more than, say, Game of Thrones did. So I think it looks pretty full, pretty good. I really do like the premium and LE versions with the metal ramps and metal return lanes more. I think it just looks, I don't know, more filled in. When you have the clear plastic, sometimes it looks like there's just nothing there because it's clear. So I like all the metal. And then when I click back and look at a picture of Jetsons, I'm like, it's clean looking, certainly. It's simple looking. It's supposed to be, appealing to families and stuff, but it's still, we're talking a $5,000-$6,000 game here. I don't know, is there enough going on? So there's this kind of eyeball check sometimes with these games that I want it to be filled in and busy. It doesn't always make for a better playing game. I'm just talking about a visual appearance. But the eyeball check is weird. I mean, do me a favor. If you don't know what I'm saying, pull up a photo of the playfield for Aerosmith and then click to a playfield of Star Wars. And it's just interesting how vastly different the art package and the layout of the inserts can make that appear. That being said, I do like the layout of the inserts on Star Wars quite a bit. I like where they're probably going with the coding. If you look at, you have the escape from Hoth, the destroy the Death Star, the escape from Tatooine, I can never say that. Josh Sharp making fun of me years ago at Pinburg because I couldn't say Tatooine. And the Battle Above Endor, if you kind of look at where they're going with that, and then you have the four characters with Han, Leia, R2-D2, and Luke. Pretty cool. They're saying 9 different multi-ball modes. That's fantastic. You have an LCD screen on all the games. You have drop targets on the left. I don't know. I'm excited. I think we're in for a cool game here. Obviously, as so many have said before me, the game is often in the code, and we'll see where we get. But toys galore. You've got an exploding Death Star. You've got a TIE fighter that moves around. You've got obviously less on the Pro. People will be modding their Pros, buying aftermarket toys to put in above ramps. You're missing the Millennium Falcon. I don't know. I'm excited. I think it looks pretty good. Your price points, for those wondering, your Pro model sits at $6,200 US. Your Premium is $7,900 US, and your 800 limited edition models are $9,000 US. So let's do some math with Nate real quick. 800 limited edition models times $9,000. $7.2 million generated at the retail level, at the gross level, top level on those limited edition games. That's a lot of money for our little industry on one model of one game. Quite interesting. So good luck to Stern Pinball. You know what's kind of nice? Except for a few little fleeting comments here and there, everybody, I'm now at the end of what I know and is confirmed for Stern to be releasing. Because I spent some time at Stern, obviously, last year and got to know a lot of what was going on and had to shut my mouth and couldn't talk about a lot. So I knew that we were, getting to Star Wars. Everything's been a little delayed from what I had initially thought. But I don't know what the next game is, and that's kind of liberating in a way. Because I've known what the next game is for a long time on all these games, and now I don't know, and it's exciting. I feel like a kid again, right? Not exactly. All right, so there's some forum static on two of the big things happening in pinball today where a lot of money's being spent with Jersey Jack Pinball and Stern Pinball.
Check the email.
I have so much email, it is just frightening. A while back, the Wall Street Journal ran an article on John Papaduke, and I had a quote in there, I think, did a little interview with the reporter there. That generated a ton of downloads of Coast to Coast Pinball. It was really fun watching the episode number 1 and then the last episode both spike up in downloads when that happened. And I got a lot of email from people who'd never heard a pinball podcast before, ever, and found my show through that. So that was fantastic and really neat. So I'm going to pick out a few emails here and just try and dig out some stuff. And right now I'm going to start with this from Jeremy. Jeremy writes to me, Nate, glad to hear everything is going well with your new job and move. Also glad to hear that C2C is not dead. Not sure if you have seen the Minions pinball machine on Pinside, but those guys aren't that far from you. At least not with what Google Maps tells me. They're in Rotterdam. They're not far. Might be a cool show topic interview. At least it's in the same time zone. Just thought I'd throw that idea out there. Thanks, Jeremy. Yes, Jeremy, I had seen the Minions pinball machine, which I believe morphed into a Despicable Me machine. Is that what happened in there? It started about a year ago, I think, and they were doing updates on Fridays. The thing looked amazing. They completed it. I don't know these guys. They are in the Netherlands. They're in Rotterdam, which is not far at all from where I am in Amsterdam. And I would encourage you to go look at that Pinside thread. It's we are building a Minions pinball, updates every Friday. Over the course of a year or so, you got to see this thing from the ground up. I mean, ground up. I think they based off of World Cup soccer, maybe. And the thing is, unlike any other game you've ever seen before, these people are much smarter and more talented than I am, and I respect that. That's cool. They're doing it for the love of it, and I do like that a lot. So the Despicable Me pinball machine is pretty fantastic with the house motif. And there are minions, which I guess are part of the Despicable Me movie. I gotta admit here something, friendly listeners. I've never seen a Minions movie or Despicable Me. I don't know much about it. So, but looks like a lot of fun. I believe they've announced their second game they're going to build is going to be called the Crazy Mansion by the Pinball Amigos is the group that they are that's what they're calling themselves. So they are using a roadshow wide body to base their playfield off of, giving a quick scan of that thread, and I can't help but wonder when you go away from a licensed theme, unless I'm wrong here and the Crazy Mansion is some licensed theme I don't know about, maybe they're going to try and sell something. Possible, I don't know. So, I don't know. We will keep watching. So, good stuff there. It's part of what I've talked about before on the show. People fall in love with pinball. They fall in love and they want to do something to give back, to be a part of it, to, I don't know, be more involved past just playing. And not everyone has to do that, or not everyone should do that, but those that do it, I love it. I love the creativity. I love the energy put into it, and it's fantastic. So we'll keep watching that thread and see how crazy their Crazy Mansion goes. Thank you for the email pointing that out, Jeremy. All right, this one is looks like from Brett in Flagstaff, Arizona. Hey, Nate, I wanted to write and let you know how much I missed your show. It's really strange to not have your voice in my car for drives to and from work anymore. I hope, like you said in your update show, you'll be back with something soon, even if only monthly. When you do return, I'd love to know what you think about Aerosmith, as this is my first new in-box game, and I should see it delivered any day. My wife thinks I'm crazy. It looks amazing. The code is my big question, but was hoping you could give me your thoughts. Hope all is well in Holland. He says Holland, which points out something funny. Many people that I know, some even that work for my company, and our European office is here in Amsterdam, Holland, the Netherlands, don't understand that Holland is just part of the Netherlands. And they also don't understand that Amsterdam is in the Netherlands, because often I get messages or emails going, hey, hope things are going great in Sweden. Or, hey, hope Denmark's doing awesome. I hope you like Scandinavia. And that's not where I live. I live in Amsterdam, which is in Holland, which is part of the Netherlands. So Aerosmith, I talked about Aerosmith a little bit on the show already. I've played it. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't fully understand the rule set. I think the Joker Jester toy box toy is fantastic fun. The one that I played, it ran smooth, looked smooth. I love the artwork. It's a game I would absolutely consider owning if I felt confident that the code is where it's supposed to be. I'm a little out of the loop on where people are sitting as far as that goes. But just from, I trust in John Borg. I do, and I think that game looks fantastic. And it's something I am certainly, open to looking at as a personal purchase myself. Just because, I'm a moderate Aerosmith fan. I like a lot of the songs they included on the game. I think it's colorful, looks great. I don't have my Metallica anymore, so that'd be a nice one to replace with. So we'll see. I need to spend some more time on it. Hopefully going to do that while I'm in San Diego in a few weeks ahead of Pinburg. But overall, Stern is to me on a couple year roll right now. I haven't seen anything that I just would be ashamed to put in my game room. Certainly, it's good stuff. So you sent me this email weeks ago, so hopefully your game got there. Everything's going great. And yeah, wives often think $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 toys are insane. So I hear you there. Wives, husbands of women in pinball, significant others, whatever. People who don't get it often think it's crazy. Next I have, hey Nate, glad to hear life in Amsterdam is going well. Hope you can share your thoughts on Keith Elwin moving to Stern Pinball as a designer. Do you think Archer Pinball will become an upcoming title for Stern? I would be in for an LE, no doubt, but I wonder if the theme is well known enough for Stern to commit to the license. Thanks for 232 shows, even if that's all there is. Oh, don't doubt me, even if that's all there is. There's more. We're here. We're doing it. It's 233, man. He says all the best from Aaron. I think it's really cool that Keith Elwin went to Stern. I think, much like I said it was great that younger people are winning pinball tournaments, I think the fact that a designer who has not been proven out in business before has been hired by the number one company in pinball, I think that's a good thing. As far as Archer goes, I think that design probably was, his resume on a lot of levels. That, and Keith's also a really nice guy, and people at Stern probably were excited to work with him. But I think that design is very cool. As far as the theme goes, Archer's one of those themes that it's like a spooky pinball builds Archer. Yeah, that works totally. It makes a lot of sense. Does Stern Pinball build an Archer game? I don't know. I like the show Archer. I have only watched a few seasons of it. I'm not that deep into the show. It's definitely an adult theme, albeit a cartoon, but it's an adult theme. Could it work? Yeah. Will it work? I don't know. I don't know if Gary Stern is going to look at Archer and say, yeah, that's where we put our production and our design and our money and thought process there. How many games of Archer do you sell? Is it thousands, hundreds? If it's hundreds, the game doesn't get built. I don't know. I think it could work. I think Stern has a little bit of license, quote unquote, license to do something outside the box like that right now, because they've been dealing in such big themes and been dealing with, big rock bands, big movie franchises. I think you could certainly see something a little left of center if the game is really good, be done and be successful, because I think Stern could pitch it that way. Is it, hey, we're doing something, a little less in the forefront, and maybe with someone like Keith Elwin designing, a lot of people are going to jump on board just to get the first game produced by Stern from Keith Elwin. I don't know. It's a great question. I'll be interested to watch them going forward. I think there's still probably licenses that are more in the wheelhouse of Stern, in the comic book wheelhouse, in the the sort of adventure movie type thing. That sort of, I'm saying warehouse, I think I mean wheelhouse. That genre that'll happen. I think the rock band idea is certainly not dead. There's more to come. I mean, Iron Maiden's been long rumored. That's one that I could see happening. They've certainly got the artwork in the background. We're going down that what's Stern going to build road right now, and I haven't even read all the rumors. I don't know the rumors, but it's always an interesting topic. So does Archer happen? If I was betting, if you forced me to bet, if I had to push my chips in or out, probably out. I maybe out. I don't think so, but we'll see. Great question, Aaron. Thanks for the email. That's it, folks. Show is over. No more. Maybe more. Maybe if you wait through the music at the end, there'll be some more. Possibly. So, thank you guys. If you stuck with me and you're still here and I'm still auto-downloading in your podcast player of choice, I like Downcast myself. Thank you. If you're just finding us, hey man, welcome. So, thanks. It's an adventure, right? It's going to be good stuff. I'll see you in 6 months. No, I'm just kidding. Pinburg is coming. There's news happening, stuff to talk about. And I look forward to being a part of the pinball community from this office, this microphone here in Amsterdam. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you real soon. This has been episode number 233 of Coast to Coast Pinball. Until next time, take care of yourselves, play more pinball, and be nice to each other. Later. Hey, Teresa.
Hey, Nate.
What's going on?
Sitting in our apartment.
It's a studio, Teresa. This is a studio.
I mean, sitting in your newly assembled, very state-of-the-art studio.
Thank you. That's better. Paint a picture for everybody.
Well, outside is big giant trees and lots of bicycles.
Lots of bicycles.
Inside, Nate has his new desk and all of his computer stuff set up. He was really excited to finally get this all going.
Yes, I was. So, how's Amsterdam?
It's really nice. It's it feels like home now. It's kind of chilly right now, which is a bummer.
Yeah, here in July it's like 65 degrees and raining.
Yeah, but it's nice. We've had fun with our bikes riding around and
Do you sound are you nervous to be back on Coast to Coast Pinball?
No, I just don't know what to say. I asked you beforehand what I was going to talk about. You're like, I'll just lead you.
Don't tell people behind the scenes stuff. They don't need to hear that. How dare you?
I just like to have like a heads up. Like if I
Do you hear this, people? Like, come on.
If I'd known you were going to ask what life was like, I would have thought of
Jeez,
something. Hey,
how are you? You're pretty. How you doing?
well, there you go. That's better.
Yeah.
So ask me something.
How much do you miss pinball in the house?
I actually do miss it. I miss you being able to play it. I think that, like, when you would come home from work, you know, you'd kiss me and talk for a bit, and then you'd go play. It was good for you.
So, tell me about what's been a big change for you living in Europe versus living in the United States.
The grocery stores.
The grocery stores.
I mean, I know it seems like something silly, but there's just so much stuff that's not here.
Yeah.
You know,
like Americans.
Like what?
Like Americans.
No, like products, like different types of coffee and like flavored coffee creamer and the Sobe Life Waters and food products and what I eat for breakfast. Protein bars. Protein bars aren't a thing here. So just all that.
But neither is Donald Trump.
No, Donald Trump is a thing everywhere. That's unfortunate.
Okay, steering away from politics, because Teresa, this is not Coast to Coast politics.
Hey, that was you, by the way.
Hey, don't get into the facts. Let's just move along. What else is on your mind? The floor is yours. People wanted to hear. I had an email asking if I brought you with me or not, because nobody had heard from you.
If you brought me with you.
I know, like I left you or something.
Whatever. Nate can't survive without Teresa.
That's not true.
It's not true, but life is way less fun without me.
That's true.
I got a job.
Teresa got a job.
I got a teaching position at one of the international schools here, and I'll start in August. So that's fun. It's fun because my commute is so different. You know, in California, I would drive up the coast.
On a freeway.
Yeah, on like a giant freeway with like...
Took the 5 up to...
The 78.
78. Yeah.
But like, you know, going 85 miles an hour. Now I'm riding my bike to a train station and then taking this very lovely, peaceful train ride. I get to go past a windmill.
Windmills and cows, right?
Sheep.
Sheep.
Well, in my head, I call them sheepies.
Sheepies.
So then when I'm talking out loud...
Sheep just don't care much. Like when I see sheep when I'm riding my bike, when we're on the countryside and I yell at the sheep, they don't even look up.
They don't even look up.
They don't care.
No. Cows will sometimes look over.
Up. Yeah. Ducks look up.
Except for the sleepy ones along the bike path.
They're tired.
Yeah. They have their little beaks tucked in their feathers. There's lots of animals around here, which I love since we are... without
We're
pets.
in the city. Like, we live in the city. There's probably 20 restaurants within a 3-minute walk of this apartment.
1 minute walk?
1 minute walk.
Yeah.
But yet we're a 10-minute bike ride away from, like, cows and sheep and ducks and grass and windmills.
Yeah, it's really cool. That's something that we've learned to love about this city. It's a tiny city, like, comparatively, compared to U.S.
Less than a million
cities.
people. 900,000 people here.
And it's all very close together, so you can get there on your bike easily. But even within the city at the parks, there's bunnies and geese and ducks and...
Magpies and crows.
We do like the magpies.
They're cool.
They're very cool.
They're birds with attitudes.
Yeah, we
BWA.
like it that they steal things. I have yet to have a magpie steal something from me, but I would like it to happen.
Don't let your guard down.
And I
They're
would like to
watching
feed...
you.
I've tried to feed crows, like, so they'll bring me presents, like on Reddit they talk about
Yeah.
that. That hasn't happened yet either.
Well, keep trying.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. I mean, the cultural things are subtle, but they're very real. So
Yes.
then when you come across them, especially getting a job at a Dutch school, because
Like trying to get your check after dinner.
yeah, that's a thing. If you come here, you have to really be persistent to get that check because they do not want to bring
They
it to
assume
you
you are here to sit and stay.
for hours and hours. But just for those of you who may want to know, it is completely acceptable and polite to just go up with your card and be like, "Hey, I'm ready to pay," and they're cool with that too. So you don't have to wait. That's my tip.
That's your tip? She
my
just did a
Amsterdam
hand
tip.
gesture. Is that a
like-
gang sign or something?
It was like a flourish.
Wow.
It was like a ta-da.
This is new.
Shut up.
All right.
Hand gestures are new.
No, that one was new. Teresa speaks with her hands very often, none of which translates on Coast to Coast Pinball.
No, it doesn't.
So on a scale of 1 to 14, how happy are you that Coast to Coast Pinball's back?
I'm looking at a 14.
Really?
Yeah, because you've been talking about it and like you love it. It makes you happy and your job has been insane. For those of you out there listening, Nate has been like navigating all of the newness of his position and it was exhausting. Like it
For
just,
you or for me?
for you.
Oh.
Like learning it and when you're in a comfort zone at your job, your brain doesn't have to constantly be figuring things out. When it's new, it's just like you come home and you're so tired and the travel. So all of that mixed with
Speaking of
having
travel, I got to get on a plane.
yeah, in a couple hours.
Yeah.
So all that mixed with the travel has made it hard for him to find the time and energy to do this, but you've talked about it. You've missed it. You've like been plotting, and I knew when we moved into this apartment from the company apartment that the desk and the chair and the getting the stuff together, it was all, I was waiting for it to ramp up and happen. So I'm really happy because I know it makes you happy.
You make me happy. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but this is like a creative outlet for you. So
All right. Well, very good. Well, thanks for coming on Coast to Coast. Whoa, we're not done? Whoa, sorry.
not a single
This is the first
pinball
one.
question. You usually show me a picture of something and make me comment.
I don't want to.
Nothing?
I don't want to do that right now. I'm scared to do that with Star Wars.
Because I might be mean. Anything. Come on. Ask me something about pinball.
Okay.
Put you on the spot now. Oh, are you
All right,
nervous? Are you nervous?
So, would you rather have a Archer pinball machine or an Iron Maiden pinball machine?
Is there option C?
No.
None of the above?
No.
Option D, Attack
No.
from Mars?
See, I told you.
That's my vote. D, Attack from Mars.
Okay, but if it was only Archer or Iron Maiden, which
Iron
one?
Maiden,
Iron
100%.
Yeah, you want Eddie?
Yeah, and I like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And Archer is, I know everybody thinks he's so funny. It's such a good cartoon. It's so well written. Yeah, it's for dudes.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like,
Stereotyping.
yeah, I
Oh,
am.
sorry.
Stereotypes suck, but they're often based in
We're
some
running
form of
over.
reality.
I like 45-minute shows.
Okay,
We're over,
hey,
Teresa.
this is
We gotta
you.
go. No, this is you. I blame you.
Okay,
The
well,
world blames you for this. 53 minutes. What is this? This is nonsense.
you can
53 minutes.
you can
Can't
do
go
the thing.
53 minutes.
No, you can do the thing where the episode is over, but then you're like, oh, and there's some more if you want to listen.
Oh,
do
that's
that.
your whole segment. Your tag at the end. I'm sorry.
I don't get like an actual official segment.
At the end.
That's sad.
Some people may have turned off and not even heard this yet.
not.
I know, right? That's sad.
I want to be important.
You're very important, but just not to everybody.
That's okay. That's
Neither am I. And I know that. And that's why I feel good about life. Because I understand
we don't want to
that.
be important to everyone. Then we'd be like stared at like aliens.
Yeah. All right. Well, say goodbye, Teresa.
Goodbye, Teresa.
Oh, the Josh Sharp joke. Great.
No. That goes back to George and Gracie.
Yeah, but on this show, it's the Josh
George
Sharp
Burns.
joke.
Oh, okay. Good night or goodbye?
Goodbye?
What'd you say?
Good luck?
Wait. What did you say to me?
I love you?
I love you too.
All right. That's it. That's all. Later.
Bye.